The once proud Delta Upsilon Fraternity House here in London, Ontario, has gotten into such bad shape, the building had to be abandoned 2 years ago. Not much is up to code here, and in fact, fixing everything would cost multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the fraternity brothers just don't have that kind of money.
What they can afford is these people, the builders from our show.
Yeah! The Delta Upsilon brothers are probably going to regret letting our builders get involved. This it? That didn't sound good. This is Canada's worst handyman.
Ow. The saw doesn't like me.
Last episode, the nominees for Canada's Worst Handyman arrived at this century-old frat house. And right away,
doesn't work.
It was apparent they don't know how to use power tools. It was so scary, our cameraman wouldn't shoot it. Fear not. Our experts are here to help. In the real world, Gail Prosser-Craig runs a home restoration company. And Jeff Woodmansey runs a general contracting company. But here in rehab right now,
there's a couple of features that I want to show you on the saw.
Jeff is teaching a class on circular saw safety.
Dean, you were grasping the saw from underneath.
At home in High Prairie, Alberta, Dean always grasps his circular saw close to the spinning blade.
That's an old saw.
Dean was nominated for our embarrassing title by Doug, his brother.
Yes, you are Canada's worst handyman. Idiot.
Dean's not very good at handiwork.
I don't know what that is.
Because he doesn't do it very often.
I don't even have a clue where to start or what to do.
The next worst handyman nominee is Matt from Elmsdale, Nova Scotia. Matt built this rickety house himself. And in the process, he cut the power cord off his saw.
Another one of her finest. That one was taped before, so it was probably cut off twice. Cheers.
Matt was persuaded to check into handyman rehab by Silent Keith, his lifelong friend. Silent Keith doesn't want to talk about Matt's shower, or his moldy baseboard, or his sink.
Ooh, that's live.
Our next worst handyman nominee is Simon from North Sydney, Cape Breton. The only part of Simon's home that's ever needed work is his unfinished basement.
Jeez,
Why is it so hard?
God, you're rough with the tools.
Since retiring as a teacher, this golf nut has been working away in his basement, trying to turn it into a rec room.
What the hang are you doing?
Linda has been watching Simon wreck rooms for 37 years of marriage.
His philosophy is like, it's close enough.
Next to Simon is Corey, a licensed mechanic from Burns Lake, BC. Corey was nominated as Canada's worst handyman by Kim, his fiancée.
Just wait till the beast comes out. You'll see his temper.
In car repair, the beast can bang aggressively on steel. Home repair requires more patience than Corey possesses.
I want to break this thing in half.
Corey's temper can get so bad,
I want to throw this thing across the room.
you can actually see his anger building.
His nose is getting red. That means he's The beast is stirring within.
The final nominee for Canada's Worst Handyman is Angela, this year's only female candidate. At home in Spruce Grove, Alberta,
Hi, Munchkin.
Angela has a baby
What's going on?
and 2 older children. And a hobby her husband doesn't like. When he's on the road as an audio technician, Matt knows Angela is starting home projects she's not finishing.
Frustrates me when I come home and find the electrical outlets painted over top and masking tape holding the wall plates on the electrical that's still sitting there.
Whenever Angela gets bored with home fix-it jobs,
No stud there.
she switches to a new home fix-it job that she will most likely switch away from. For this reason, Matt wishes she would
Focus a little more on maybe cleaning the house or projects with the kids.
At the rehab center, Angela's learning, and everybody's about to take notes on how to make a bed.
This challenge is going to introduce you to the world of framing.
Framing is easy because of joist hangers. Joist hangers are cheap steel pieces that cradle joists. It works like this. You start by making a frame. Then you nail up the joist hangers with their centers 16 inches apart. The joists are these structural pieces that fit into the hangers. For the legs,
We're going to use a 4x4 column mounted into the floor. Very important. There's codes and rules that have to be followed. You have to solid block the column into position. And this is the solid blocking that I'm referring to. Then you have to use lag bolts, and there has to be a minimum of 2 per column. All right, so that's how to build a loft bed.
We're just basically building a deck.
Matt has used joist hangers to build a deck before, but sadly, it's a tall tale. Last fall, Matt built this deck for his boss without measuring the height of his boss's front door.
It doesn't even open it. He was not impressed. He came over and woke me up and, asked me what the hell we did.
Back at the rehab center, Matt's legs get secured in place with pieces of 2x4. Then he fastens them permanently in place using lag bolts. A piece of plywood rests on the joists, the mattress goes on the plywood, and Matt's bed is solid enough to withstand a Nova Scotian hurricane.
The loft bed that I just built is good enough for the girls that I go with.
When we come back, the rest of the Canada's Worst Handyman nominees finish their beds.
Oh, it is high, Linda.
If the nominees for Canada's Worst Handyman need any advice when they're fixing up the Delta Upsilon house, there is one famous frat boy hanging around, and he's always listening.
Is anybody listening?
That's right, Andrew. I'm Alan Thicke, proud member of the Delta Upsilon fraternity. Lived in this house in my summer after graduation, and all anybody ever asks to do if they need any help or advice around here is to say, what would Alan Thicke do?
The nominees for Canada's Worst Handyman are trying to create a loft-style bed.
Ow!
Sorry.
Why do you get mad like that and throw things?
When the frames are made, it's time to cut legs.
Screwed up.
The screwed up legs on Simon's bed aren't in the corners, and they're too tall.
Oh, it is high, Linda.
The legs get shorter,
It's a good cut, too.
but not wider.
Hurry up.
So, Simon, we're done?
I think so.
Simon says his plywood fully supports his mattress,
Well, it's not resting on this corner.
I know, but I mean, now I know.
and he believes his bed is safe.
This corner isn't resting on anything. Like, you don't even have, like, watch. You know, like, this corner shouldn't do this.
Yeah, it's a university thing. It's probably a fail.
Safety is an elementary thing.
That's the way she goes.
Sadly, it is.
Dean gets his bed into position, and he gets his plywood cut.
You guys?
Almost to the right size.
No.
With an assist from Doug, Dean is on a breakaway, hoping to score.
University student, gonna have a good time up there?
Oh, yeah.
The Delta Upsilon brothers should like this bed.
Alan Thick would like this bed. He would.
Getting done quickly means Corey can get artistic. To fancify his bed, Corey wants to wrap prefab coverings around his legs.
Okay, all we gotta do is...
Read the instructions. Okay, it says nail or screw one piece of crown in place.
Screw the instructions. Let's just go.
Corey's unique technique leads him to get a brad nailer, to get glue, and then to get ripping mad.
Oh, I want to bust that thing in half now.
In the instructions, what did it say about joining?
Yeah. What did it say?
I did not honestly read the instructions.
The beast has stirred.
You know, you had a good thing going and you wrecked it by not listening.
Throughout this challenge,
The saw doesn't like me.
Yeah, it's Saw's fault.
Angela has been having problems with her husband.
What?
What?
Do you have a problem?
Oh, you're awesome.
The key to a successful build is a stress-free environment, and he's not providing that for her.
Matt is a belligerent helper.
It's not my freaking project. Like, what do you want me to do?
He's withholding information.
Do you want to ask me if I knew that?
Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Matthew, why didn't you say anything?
Because I can only take it so far, Ange.
And now, Matt is giving terrible advice. By recommending Angela remove her old plaster.
Lift.
And he means remove all of it.
What?
I don't know, Ange. Do you see something? Like, maybe the drywall that we didn't take down?
This couple is creating a scab that may never heal.
I thought we had to redo that. I thought we had to Yeah.
Well, you have to redo it.
Yeah, I have to redo it.
Now.
No.
One thing I don't see coming is this plan.
You know, my little one, when she grows out of her crib, maybe I'll build her a loft bed in a couple of years. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy.
After the break,
Don't cut me.
plumbing products get people wound up.
Settle down, please. Settle down. Settle down.
Plumbing products these days fit together like children's building blocks. It really is that simple. And some of the plumbing products are so strong, you can use them for projects other than plumbing. Like, for example, ABS pipe is sturdy enough to make a ladder that could conveniently go to, oh, I don't know, a loft bed. And conveniently enough, making an ABS pipe ladder that goes to a loft bed is the next challenge for Canada's worst handyman.
When all the bad handymen went to the store on day one,
Do I get in trouble for buying this?
we gave everybody a detailed list of what they need to buy for their stay in rehab. And this challenge started with T-joints.
Tease.
They also needed ABS pipe and ABS cement.
Where's my brother when I need him?
Dean's brother was looking for everything on the list, while Dean looked for nothing.
I'm done, bro.
What are you looking for?
I'm done.
Tools.
What tools?
I think we're done.
No, I'm done. You're not done. I'm done.
What are you looking for, Dean? You're looking for something. What are you looking for?
Tools.
What tools? I'm trying to help you, man.
Hey, brother. Hey, we need that. because we're gonna get dirty, right? Paper towel.
That's not a tool, that's a paper towel.
Eventually, Dean gets pipe, but he never gets tees. So at the rehab center, he asks,
Alan Thick, what would you do if you didn't have no teas? Here we go, holy man.
Holy man.
You ask Alan Thick, he comes.
You sure do.
Thank you very much.
while the bad handymen cut their pipe with all sorts of inadequate hand saws,
Frick, I'm cutting my box.
our expert Jeff cuts his ABS pipe on our compound miter saw. 20 perfect cuts takes Jeff just 3 minutes.
Now you know why the pros love these tools.
The ABS cement that holds ABS pipe together is not glue. It's actually a solvent that can only bond ABS to ABS, and it does it through a process called chemical welding, which works like this. The solvent liquefies any ABS it touches. The liquefied ABS on one side mingles with the liquefied ABS on the other side. And when those shared fluids dry out, the ABS re-solidifies into one seamless piece. Amazingly,
Did you bother reading the instructions on the solvent?
No.
not one of the bad handymen has read the instructions on the ABS cement can.
Read the directions.
Read the instructions, everyone.
Where's your instructions?
Read the instruction.
Put the cover back on that glue. No, put the cover.
While Simon's cement becomes jelly, he reads his old shopping list.
Grip, sandpaper. 2.
When he resumes cementing,
Will you stop being so
Okay,
freaking sloppy?
Settle down, please. Settle down. Settle down.
Simon has no idea what he's doing.
What's the first direction it says?
Stir before using.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that.
No, you didn't do that. Then what's the next direction?
Keep container closed when not in use.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that.
You didn't do that. And what's the next direction?
Check dry fit of pipe and fitting.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do that.
You didn't do that either? Okay,
that was
what's
my
the next
first step
direction?
that I should have done, assemble parts quickly.
So you've missed, what, 4 or 5 of these
I know
instructions?
that.
If you just read the instructions, Simon.
If Matt would just listen to what he's reading, he'd know he didn't buy ABS cement.
PVC cement solvent for solid welding. PVC.
PVC cement will stick ABS pipe together temporarily, but it will not do a permanent chemical weld.
What is that smell?
What do you got? That doesn't say ABS on it anywhere.
PVC.
Matt has to start again.
Seems like we've been cutting a lot and not getting nothing done.
Corey is also working a lot to accomplish nothing.
Stuff dries fast, eh?
Holy crap.
But you must have read that on the instructions.
Even with all my insisting,
You should really read that.
Corey refuses to learn any way other than the hard way.
Nah, see? That guy popped out. We gotta be able to get this one.
You gotta read instructions!
How could I fail at something so easy?
Because you didn't pay attention to instruction.
Simon's ladder has some obvious bends in it.
Oh my God.
Bends that he thinks he can straighten.
You think if I got a heat gun that it would work? Anybody got a heat gun?
Heat gun, no.
I'm looking for a heat gun.
A heat gun? In the expert's room, Jeff's ladder appears done.
If you look at that, it's got a little bit of flex in it. And this is where the 2x2s come into it.
Threading a 2x2 inside the 2-inch pipe makes the ladder rigid and safe.
There it is.
Total build time, 35 minutes.
Wake me up in a couple hours.
Angela would like to wake up from her nightmare.
It's not that bad.
Sunk.
Matt, stop. I'm gonna cry. Seriously.
What Angela really needs to build
Worst ladder ever.
is confidence. But that's hard to do with Matt around.
Not measuring anything.
I measured that all.
Angela needs a partner she can work with.
Fail.
According to the directions on this can of ABS cement, the product will fail if the lid is left off for prolonged periods of time. For the entire challenge, Dean didn't close this can once.
Pass or fail?
Fail.
Why?
Because I guess I didn't close this.
If Dean read the instructions, he would have passed.
I told him to read it and see what it says, bro.
Simon
Lord have mercy.
believes that blowing 500 degrees Celsius air onto his crooked pipe will allow him to bend it back into position. But all he does is create the toxic scent of a headache.
Okay, that's enough.
Big lesson learned today?
Well, yeah, what lesson? Yeah, probably the first thing, read the instruction.
That's a lesson worth repeating.
Well, I learned that I'm going to read the instruction on whatever I'm using.
When we come back, Gail shows the bad handyman
That's unreal.
how hinges get attached to closet doors.
Jeez, I wish I could be as good as Gail at this.
Resizing a door can be pretty confusing if you don't know what's going on. To make sure Canada's worst handymen know the proper way to cut a closet door down to size, they're about to get a surgical lesson from our expert, Gail.
So today you're resizing your door.
A standard hollow core door has a surface made of paneling. And inside, there's a wooden skeleton running around the perimeter. Here and here, there's a chunk of particle board so you can attach the knob to either side. And here, there's a spine made of rigid cardboard. Gail has already sliced the bottom off her door
Now it's flimsy.
Okay.
It's not nice and strong like that.
to give the door back its strength.
It should really just kind of...
Gail harvests the bottom piece of wood.
So this is the stuff you want to get off. See all of this? This is the stuff that you need to clean off.
To put the piece back in, notch out the cardboard spine, cover the piece with glue, and stick it back in.
Glue it, clamp it, leave it to dry.
When the glue is dry,
You have to chisel out your own hinges.
to do that,
Mark off the size of your hinge.
Gail scores a line around the hinge perimeter. And then,
Away from your body. Bevel side down.
she chisels out a piece of wood that's the same depth as her hinge.
That's unreal.
Okay. Screw them in. Same with the bottom. Done.
With the lesson done,
Hey,
Dean needs the lesson again.
can I ask you some questions?
Yeah.
All right. I missed the whole total first part there. So we got to fit the door into the...
Angela
This is stressful.
and Simon
Ah, boy, I'm worried about this.
are overwhelmed. Corey, though,
So 1.5 inches on each side.
goes straight to work.
I've never ripped a door apart in my life. I've broke lots of them, but
To get at the structural wood inside her door, Angela tries removing the old paneling with a nail puller.
No, I can't do it.
Then a drywall pallet, then a utility knife,
Don't cut yourself.
then back to the nail puller. Yeah, and once again, the drywall pallet. Meanwhile,
Yeah, this one's almost done, man.
Matt chisels away his paneling Dean tries to sand his away, and Simon has asked for a hammer. But
I don't think I need it, Linda. But I'll need my file.
Simon will also need...
What is that?
...to put back his knob-supporting particle board piece.
Don't go crazy now. Simon, you've got glue going all over the floor.
Whenever you work with construction adhesive or glue...
You know how messy I am with glue, huh?
You should assemble a supply of rags and warm water.
There's gotta be a better way than this.
To wipe up the inevitable mess.
I'm making a mess. That's not the way you do it. It's not the way you do it.
Doing without preparing is the way Simon does everything.
Are you done?
I think so.
When all the handymen are done, we'll let the glue dry overnight.
Oh, so I'm gonna slip it in?
In the morning, we'll pop these clamps off and hang the resized doors.
First time doing a job like this?
Yeah, everything's first time here, Andrew.
With sleep in the bag and coffee in the gut, it's time to get these closet doors up and swinging.
Holy man. Let's do some chiseling.
Corey starts by correctly scoring around the hinge perimeter, but
I am not a chiseler.
he gouges out way too much. And so does Simon.
I freaked up.
Simon can't chisel the way Gail showed him.
Her, she did it in one shot. Ah, it was awesome. Not me.
Not Dean either. He single-handedly has the worst technique in rehab.
Comparing to Simon, I'm a professional handyman.
When Dean's hinges are mounted, they're not fully recessed.
So we hang it? Yeah.
The result is a springy door.
So is that good or not, Dean?
Not good.
Doug, what do you think?
Horrible.
Yeah, it sure is.
Horrible might be an understatement.
The hinges weren't right, and the siding was real ugly. There was glue all over it.
Angela's hinges are also getting screwed up.
Stop, Ange. Why do you do that?
I should use my stepladder is what I should do. I think you can...
Really?
Just like Dean,
Right here,
Yeah.
she strikes, eh?
Angela's top hinge hasn't been properly recessed. And her bottom hinge has raised screw heads.
I failed.
Yep.
Angela's failure is just part of rehab.
You learn a lot?
Totally, yeah.
Learn by your mistakes, that's what they say.
Then how come you aren't reading instructions?
Corey's mistake on our door challenge
I measured wrong.
will be pretty hard to overcome.
Oh, you cut it too narrow. Yeah. Missed by this much.
That's enough to be called a failure.
So you measured from this to this, as opposed from this to this?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Matt,
That's a fail.
also mismeasured?
I guess I cut my door a little short.
I see why you think this is a fail, all right.
To my eye, Matt's gap is as big as Corey's.
Maybe you and Corey can form a support group.
The name of Simon's support group would be Bad Chiselers Anonymous. You're actually Bad Chiselers Obvious.
Jeez, I wish I could be as good as Gail at this.
When he's all done, Simon's door doesn't latch.
Pass fail.
If it doesn't latch, it's a fail.
I always screw up.
When we come back,
We got 3 hours. Let's move it.
Dean tries to lead the group challenge.
They all quit on me? Where's my wool pack?
Assembling kit furniture really is a lesson in patience. And patience is really a lesson all of Canada's worst handymen need. So, their next challenge is assembling one of these industrial strength cabinets. You know, from the inside, these things are actually really spacious.
We're doing this challenge
Come on, give me a picture.
to drive home the importance
Remove the plastic tube protectors from the tongues. The hell is the tongues?
of understanding instructions.
All right, instructions. Secure the template. Set the backside guide to appropriate locks and basket. The backside guide tabs include setting of jig. Possession template. What the hell am I reading? Wow, that's that's for that door thing. That's wrong instructions.
In Angela's room,
You said you're gonna put all your tools back.
Matt is instructing his wife to clean up.
Could have done it before.
But Angela would rather work on the floor. Dean
Sorry there, buddy.
is also on the floor, and so is Simon.
Well, it doesn't surprise me.
Even Corey is on his knees.
Ouch, can you just freaking help me here?
Well, we're supposed to read this. I'm trying to help you by reading.
Last episode, we instructed Canada's worst handymen to each make a workbench
Come on, where's the screws? Give me screws.
so they could work on them.
That's not working out for you, is it? So let's put it up here, okay? Not working out for you, is it?
No, this is fine.
This is not working out for you. Up here, come on. Quick, Vite.
This couple has a serious control issue. It's Angela's project, but Matt wants to be in charge.
And
It's
not even on.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Now it's on.
Why are you yelling at me?
Well, because
It's in.
pissing around.
It's in, Matt.
Okay, and
It's in. Stop yelling.
Military Matt's panel is in upside down, and Silent Keith knows it.
They both say top. This is the top and this is the bottom. Do everything twice, man.
Doing things twice means instructions weren't followed.
I'm trying to slow myself down. That's why I'm here.
Corey's also here to slow down, but the instructions speed him up.
Sir, that's not only a pass, that's a victory.
That's it.
Yeah!
It's a victory whenever bad handymen follow instructions.
I did it fast, like.
Simon was fast to abandon his instructions.
You're taking screws out, I can't help but notice.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Because
it's
it's in backwards.
backward, isn't it? Hey, it's nothing new. We're having a nightmare of a day again.
It should be a dreamy day. The instructions are basic.
Not paying attention again. Instructions were there.
The instructions say,
close both doors, check that the lock and key work
Oh
properly.
my God!
What?
We put the doors on upside down.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
at least, this isn't a vehicle.
I put my toddler's bike together last year, and that
The one that fell apart.
a little.
There's only one person left working.
Yeah. See that window there?
Yeah.
Open it and jump out.
Dean can't jump. He has to be the foreman in our next group challenge. And he'd like to include his cabinet in that challenge.
I'd like to get everybody as a group so you can see my foreman skills.
So they can build this for you?
With me.
With you?
Yes, with me. Because we're a team.
Our instructions were to build this cabinet as if you were at home alone.
At home, when I try and make something, I don't look at instructions.
Inside the Delta Upsilon fraternity house, the kitchen is a total disaster. For it to be fixed, Canada's worst handymen are going to have to work together as a group. one time in each episode. Now, they've already done their demolition work, so their next project is to begin rebuilding. And to rebuild an entire kitchen, if they get along as well as our crew do, should take them about 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm gonna go for groceries.
Remodeling this kitchen involves dozens of jobs. Today, the team must frame out a kitchen island, hang the cabinets they made, and make the one Dean didn't.
Foreman, I hand it over to you.
All right, guys. Okay, I'm gonna tell everybody what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna watch and I'm gonna inspect your work, because that's what a foreman does, right? Before we do this, we have a chant, okay? We're gonna howl like wolves, because we're a wolf pack. You ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, we got 3 hours. Let's move it.
Matt's job is the kitchen island. Corey finishes Dean's undone project, and Angela and Simon are assigned the cabinets. The instructions say that to hang the cabinets, these brackets have to be screwed to a wall. Then, the cabinets hang on the brackets. But Simon can't figure it out.
That thing goes against the wall, isn't it? The opposite, yeah, right.
Actually, look at the instructions.
After half an hour,
What is that, a table saw?
Dean has lost focus, Matt has hit a crossroads,
Where's the foreman? Disappeared? Hey, Dean! Where are you to, buddy?
and Simon and Angela have accomplished nothing.
Who figure around with my drill there?
When Dean wanders back, he starts pulling nails out of the old window frame.
Dean, man, what do you want me to do now? Wolverine. I never get to slack, so this is kind of cool.
Understandably, Corey wanders off, and Matt decides to follow suit.
We're slacking.
Don't you have a
The
kitchen or
best
something
foreman
to
in the
build?
world. He just doesn't tell us to do nothing.
Yeah, I like him as a foreman.
When Angela and Simon realize the others have quit, they walk away too.
Is he working out as a foreman?
Well, I don't think so.
They all quit on me? Where's my wolf pack?
I was hungry.
We get everyone back, but the projects don't get completed.
Dean's not a foreman at all. He's horrible.
After the break, we name this episode's worst handyman.
You are the worst.
In this episode, Canada's worst handymen made beds.
Will you make up your mind?
They made ladders, and they built cabinets.
It's
Not even on.
Yes, it is.
Now it's on.
Which person will be named this episode's worst?
I am not Canada's worst handyman today.
I am not Canada's worst handyman.
I'm not Canada's worst handyman, but
I am Canada's worst handyman for these 3 projects. Definitely.
When you don't have a good leadership, you're gonna fail. So I think I'm gonna be the worst handyman for this episode.
Our expert Jeff is off the job site on personal business. So, the final inspection of the work accomplished by Canada's worst handyman this episode will be done by just Gail and I, starting in Angela's room, where there's a lot of missing plaster.
Matt mentioned that maybe we should rip it down, so I listened to him.
And so you did, hey?
Angela also listened when Matt said the head of the bed shouldn't touch the wall.
So the whole bed has to be shifted over, right up against this wall, and screwed in.
Simon's closet door is unsafe.
So what's happening, if I can take the closet off with one small pull, not installed properly.
Simon's bed is unsafe.
It's screwed on the wall, right?
Really?
Oh.
Does that look like?
And Simon's ladder is unsafe.
Can I use a heat gun to take these apart?
A heat gun on plastic? Never a good
Never.
idea.
PVC cement on ABS pipe is also never a good idea.
PVC. Ah.
When Matt goofed up, I forced him to try again using the correct materials.
I had to do it twice. Thanks for the old kick in the arse.
Corey's projects this episode were all failures that he went back and fixed on his own time.
Okay.
His door is fine now, his bed legs are up, and his ladder works.
I hate building, but that's the weirdest thing for me, that you would want to come to Handyman Rehab, but you hate building.
It's because Kim wants me to get better.
The love for the missus outweighs the hatred for the building.
Yep.
Dean used to hate building too, but
It's actually getting fun.
How many things did you not read instructions for during this episode?
Lots.
Gail and I will now choose this episode's worst handyman.
Simon is it for me.
He's it.
He's it.
Did you see the group challenge?
I did. And yes, Dean failed as a foreman, but
But nothing! Dean's foreman work was the worst thing in rehab so far this season.
That cupboard took 2 hours to get up. He didn't know what any of his workers were doing. All of his workers left at one point. His brother's the actual leader in his room.
I see your character assassination and I raise you workmanship. Simon failed every project in his room. His door was pulled off the hinges.
True.
He's just a complete mess.
Okay. Well, I have to go out there and announce who is the worst, so maybe you've convinced me. Well, it's time to name the worst for this episode and the most improved. And as you know, the most improved will receive this golden hard hat, and with it will come the responsibility of being the group leader in the next Wolfpack Challenge. The most improved for this episode is you, Corey.
Hey, awesome.
Well done, sir. Cheers, man. In terms of improvement, it's all you.
That's awesome.
Really a no contest.
That's awesome.
Which leads me to the sad news of the worst. Dean, Simon, both of you guys lost track of the big picture during this episode.
Dean's brother Doug kept bringing him back to the big picture. Simon always wants to paint a different picture.
And so for that reason, you are the worst. Simon.
I deserve it. There's no question about it.
Oh.
Simon was named the worst for this episode because he didn't follow instructions on his bed challenge, he didn't follow instructions on his ladder challenge, his door challenge, or his cabinet challenge.
Hey, it's nothing new. We're having a nightmare of a day again.
So sad. Everybody else who did well this episode, thank you for coming. You are free to go. We have some homework to do, so come with me. All right, Simon. Homework time.
Yes, I know. I'm used to getting it. Huh?
So for your homework, I'm going to give you a list of instructions on how to follow instructions.
Oh, right on. How to follow instructions. Find the instructions. Read the instructions.
Do you do that?
Not very often. Read the instruction again. Keep rereading the instructions until you comprehend the instruction.
You comprehend those instructions?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Have you read the instructions and followed them?
Yes, I think I did.
What's number 3 say?
Read the instruction again. Okay, well then I'm going to have to read the instruction again. Find the instructions first. Read the instructions. Read the instruction again.
Starting to sink in now?
Oh, I'll read the instruction for sure.
On the next episode of Canada's Worst Handyman,
Where are you, drill bit set?
the nominees install motorized shelves.
This is condemned.
They make chairs out of skateboards and pipes.
Lap dance!
And they put up walls.
Oh my God of God.
Whoops.